Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. What you're looking at here is a female workers asked to join in a day without a woman protest. And I read this when I woke up doing my morning duties. And I just felt I had to make a little video about it. But just to summarize, this is a day without a woman protest, and it has to do a lot with gentrification or gender equality. And if a woman, especially in the truth, because there are women in the truth, I don't think they fall under this, because if you're in the truth, then you know what's up. But these women don't believe in the Bible, because if they did, they would know. And I'm gonna get into that too. But this is Genesis 2:23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." Basically, that's his property. So women are property. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Alright? So these women want to be recognized by the beast, basically the government and society, because they're servants, like it says in 1 Corinthians, and we're going to go to that. Alright? And this is just a bunch of defiant women. I'm going to read a little bit about it. This is NPR.org. They have some good articles. The call for female workers to strike Wednesday, which today is Wednesday, comes on International Women's Day, which helped to inspire the strike and follows the Women's March in January. Now, the Women's March in January is a bunch of bullshit too, because they started near the U.S. Capitol and they ended near the Washington Monument, which is a fucking dick, a phallic. So how the fuck are you gonna protest a man in the office and then you're gonna go and stop at a big giant dick? Bitches are stupid. Anyways, a broad coalition of groups across the nation is encouraging women to participate in Wednesday's strike called a Day Without a Woman. There was a day without a woman. It was called in the beginning, and it was peaceful. But all this has to do is with they just want to be equal to men. And like I said before, if you believe in the Bible or you call yourself a Christian, you should not be involved in this. Alright? Let me get another scripture. Alright. Okay, let's start from the beginning. This is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. We know the serpent is the devil or the wicked, which Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai power had made. And he said unto woman, Yea, hath the power said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So that tells you that women are simple. The serpent deceived her, basically telling her, well, this is what's going on right now. Some PSYOP or some government agency, which started with in 1921 with this bitch called Margaret Sanger, or if I'm mistaken, I'll gladly take any correction. But this bitch didn't like. Basically, she was against any colored human being, which is ironic because all human beings have color except the white man. He's translucent. Alright, reading on. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. And the trees of the garden are other people, or other nations. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the power hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And these bitches are about to die. So basically, these women are trying to flex. The mass protest on January 21st, President Trump's first full day in office, saw huge crowds of demonstrators converge on the nation's capital and other rallies in cities across the country of the world. The protest aims to highlight the economic power of women as well as ongoing problems of discrimination and pay disparity. The economic power of women, which they didn't have power until probably 1960s or something, and they still don't, but they want to be recognized as something because they don't believe in the Most High and they don't believe in His Son. They don't believe in the power. They don't believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is okay. There need to be some people ready to be disposed of, along with the 2/3. So, and reading on over here in chapter 3 in Genesis, and in verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for the power doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Exactly. Which these bitches are all evil. They're trying to undermine the man's responsibility as the head of the family, as a head of society. And they're just mad because Hillary didn't get elected, but she wasn't going to get elected. And they're trying to bring in other I'm gonna call them domesticated men, because I wouldn't be caught dead in this rally, and I ain't gonna wear no fucking red neither. To show their economic importance and impact on society, women are being encouraged to take the day off from paid and unpaid labor and not to shop except at women and minority-owned and small businesses. So how you going to make an impact if you're not going to shop at certain retail except if they're owned by women or minority-owned? And what if those minority-owned businesses are owned by so-called Muslims, which are Ishmaelites? You know how they feel about women? You still gonna shop there? And small businesses. Alright. So what's gonna be affected? Because women are teachers now. They're teachers They're so-called doctors, which doctor means falsify. They're it says right here they're in a big part of this society, which this society is going down anyways. All right. Let's see, let me read this little part. A day without a woman gained momentum in reaction to President Trump's policies and comments on women, especially immigrants and Muslims. But planning for the strike predates the Trump administration. Inspiration came from International Women's Day events outside the United States, where the day is more widely observed. So what would happen if there was a day without women? Because Esau has created embryos without any DNA from a woman or a man. So if all these women were to disappear, Esau would just make some up. Man, some of you women and some of you men, fucking effeminate men. Alright, so the day without immigrants came and passed. That was February 19th or some shit like that. And those motherfuckers got fired. Will these women get fired? Who knows? Probably not. Alright. One unionized group of workers showing interest in the women's protests are school teachers. 76% of public school teachers in the U.S. are women. Right? Because the only jobs that are available if you go to college are in the sector or in this society for the government to help destroy the Israelites. This isn't just about a man. It's against the Most High. Man, I hope that it didn't, because I already seen women at work. I hope all you women stop working. You want to be recognized as women, but women are servants, and I'm gonna get that right. I'm gonna get that in a little bit. Alright, this is interesting right here. The Associated Press reports the role of women in American society is significant. According to the U.S. Census, and I worked the U.S. Census in 2010, which is a bunch of bullshit. And when I was doing it, I asked my supervisor, which was a woman. You know, I'm taking down this information for a lot of families in my area. And the majority, like 80% of them, were Hispanic. And I told them they're all Hispanic. But we had to do it in pencil. So I turned in my paperwork. And then they erased it and fixed it. Which is pure hypocrisy. Women make up more than 47% of the workforce and are dominant in such professions as registered nurses, dental assistants, cashiers, accountants, and pharmacists. They make up at least a third of physicians and surgeons, as well as lawyers and judges. Women also represent 55% of all college students. College is not even... You go to college to get in debt. Alright. So let me see. And then the Statue of Liberty's lights went out, which is just a harlot at the bay. Alright. So what is the economic power of women? They make 40% of like it says right here, of the workforce. Which the workforce is just all servile. It's just all service. They don't make nothing. This country doesn't make nothing. And I'm gonna end it with this. So what is a woman's role in society? I'm going to leave you with this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. And this is Paul. Paul was getting down. All right. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So the head of the woman is a man. So what are you really protesting? You're protesting men in power. Esau can make create his own human beings. So really, he don't need women or men. But what kind of men and women don't he need? He doesn't need Israelite men and women. That was my take on the situation. I just had to say the little things. Kal Halal, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Shalom to all the brothers teaching this word, truth, and sincerity. This is Hawak, and Shalom.